The fifth episode of X-Men 97 is finally here. After a little week's break, we're going to let Ensabagnor's story rest for now and head to another timeline where the action never stops. Get ready, this episode hits hard. The first thing we see is how Magneto has declared war on the whole planet, attacking those who are like him and trapping them with metal. The only one who managed to get close enough was Logan, who stabbed him right in the ribs, but unfortunately he didn't finish the job, and Magneto unleashed his fury on him, ripping all the adamantium out of his body and tearing his flesh down to the bone. A pretty intense start, honestly. Guepardo was left in critical condition, and while fighting for his life, he kept repeating Jane's name over and over until the story finally jumps forward a bit, and we see the version who was left with bone claws welcoming Forge in the future timeline. A really sad moment for the fans. But before officially starting the episode, we see a scene where Guepardo, after recovering from his wounds, met with Captain America, who handed him the Weapon X file. The episode is titled Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs, and it starts exactly with the new team that was formed, Logan, aboard a helicopter. The team includes Morph, his brother Sabretooth, a couple of old friends, Maverick and Kane, and an ex-girlfriend named Yuriko. A weird team, but a functional one. The guy's plan is to destroy Dr. Cornelius's lab, and with it, everything related to Weapon X. The only problem is that when the guys manage to reach the area near the lab, the instruments start failing, and a few seconds later, the helicopter's wing explodes, the result of a pretty suspicious collision, like with a flock of birds. Everything gets complicated really fast. As you'd expect from a disaster like this, the team ends up crashing down in the middle of nowhere. When Morph wakes up, he discovers the first fatal casualty. Kane has fallen into a tree and been impaled, so he's not going to be much help now. Maverick shows up a few seconds later, along with Yuriko, but there's no sign of Logan anywhere. What they can clearly see are the culprits of the accident, a bunch of birds like crows, but a lot uglier, whose blood is glowing green, and it's clear this wasn't an act of nature. With no other option, the guys decide to walk through the forest to look for clues and find the rest of the team. But a few seconds later, Maverick hears something coming from a pile of branches that looks like a cave, and when he tries to check the spot, he's attacked by a huge polar bear that looks like it's mutated. The huge animal attacks them hard, and Morph has no choice but to turn into Sabretooth to even out the fight. Even though Yuriko stabs it, the huge animal doesn't give an inch, and it's clear they need help, or both of them will join Maverick in the next world. What a savage fight, by the way. Luckily, Logan shows up with his brother, and even though they've never worked well as a team, they manage to take down the huge bear. Logan stabs it straight in the chest, and his brother wraps his arms around its neck and manages to break it. It's at this exact moment that the team realizes Logan no longer has his adamantium claw, and his brother laughs out loud, realizing that he's now much stronger than him, just like he's always believed. But something about the situation doesn't add up, since there's a really strange smell coming from these creatures, and there are signs of some kind of mutation on their bodies, maybe some virus spread through the water, which has turned the animals in this area into unstoppable beasts. Further ahead, they manage to find a wall, which probably surrounds the doctor's base, but the strange thing is, there's a huge hole in it, as if someone had gotten there before them, and they have no idea whether the place is completely destroyed or not. What they are sure of is that there was a big fight, since inside the wall, there's a lot of destruction and blood covering the snow, but there's no body anywhere. As they move through a tunnel, the smell guides them, but Maverick has a better option. He uses his tools to scan the whole place, and he discovers there's a life sign in the control room, but they need to hurry since the vitals are dropping. As the bodies start showing up, everyone notices they all have the same wound, 3 claw marks, similar to Logan's, but this guy is a lot more bloodthirsty since the main lab is a complete slaughterhouse. However, someone is still alive, none other than Dr. Cornelius himself, who's completely unharmed, which is pretty strange. And even though Yuriko wants to tear him apart, he's their only option for getting out of that place, because in case they forgot, the helicopter is completely destroyed, and they're hundreds, maybe thousands of kilometers away from any coffee shop. However, when they're about to interrogate the doctor, something really strange happens, and he starts laughing in a frantic, evil way until he spits out the same green liquid they saw before and turns into a horrific creature with sharp tentacles that attacks them without mercy. And that's not all. These creatures start coming out from everywhere and in different shapes, like giant mosquitoes and larvae that lunge at them. The group starts shooting and fighting off these things, but their numbers don't seem to be going down, and the best thing they can do is get out of there, since it's clear they won't find what they came looking for in this place. Logan and his brother defend them, trying to buy them enough time to escape, but Yuriko ends up getting caught by one of those things, and while she's trying to break free from it, she's about to be killed. Luckily, Morph turns into the Hulk and uses his massive strength to destroy the tentacle and take out the rest of the giant mosquitoes that were about to shoot that strange liquid at them. After that, the team has no choice but to lock themselves behind reinforced glass, from where they can see those creatures trying to reach them, so they need to think of something fast, since the door won't hold forever. The bad news is there doesn't seem to be an end to those things, so who knows how far they've already spread across this whole area, and if they can handle the cold, they'll reach populated areas where they'll definitely become a problem. Maverick checks out the bunker and realizes it's completely coated in adamantium. So that should keep them safe for a long time, until they find a way out. But going up isn't the solution. They'd end up stranded in the middle of nowhere. The only thing they can do is keep going down and check each of the floors until they manage to reach the transport bay. There should be a vehicle there they can use, and then they'll take it back up through the elevator. However, they'll have to split up, since someone needs to turn on the generators so the vehicle bay doors can open. So Logan will go with Morph, and the rest will head to the generators. But there's something bothering all of them. Those things infect humans, and now they know that thanks to Cornelius, which means any one of them could already be infected. And Yuriko doesn't trust Logan, since when the helicopter crashed, he wasn't with the rest of them. So she decides to put the teams together and lets Logan go with Maverick, since he's the one who vanished. So he's the one they trust the least. And since a keen sense of smell has helped them before, she decides to take Sabretooth along and put up with the fact that he's a headache. Once they manage to reach the server room, the power comes back on, and Morph discovers a huge collection of discs with the names of many mutants they know, including themselves. On one of those discs, there's a video of Cornelius, saying that the people who volunteered for the experiments were the weakest of all, since memories were always a problem, because a mutant with a past is completely useless. That's why he focused his research on an alien species, and ever since he got a specimen in his hands, he learned a lot about the Brood, whose brain works like a hive mind. A pretty disturbing reveal, honestly. The doctor made use of every part of the specimen and ran multiple tests on each part to get the best of the species and create the perfect mutant with no memory, no past, and completely obedient. The serum works completely and wipes out the identity of whoever receives it, but it also alters their body, giving them much greater strength and agility, while also making them completely uncontrollable. Now the team knows what happened to all the animals, and they've figured out that the things attacking them are part animal, part alien. When the video finally ends, the lights go out again, and the team realizes they're not alone. There's something walking above them through the ventilation ducts. Suddenly, a huge cockroach rises up behind Morph and attacks him. Its tentacles touch him for a moment, but the next second, Yuriko manages to slice it apart, and now we don't know if that was enough time for Morph to get infected, but everything seems fine, or at least he hasn't changed his behavior. Also, right at that moment, they get a call for help from their teammates, who are being attacked in the vehicle bay, so checking on Morph will have to wait. As they get closer to the vehicle bay, they find a place full of tubes, and inside one of them is Omega Red. A few seconds later, Maverick shows up with his helmet completely wrecked and his heart full of panic, telling them that a lot of those things came in through the ducts and attacked them without mercy. But Logan got the worst of it. Before Maverick can tell them anything else, a thick mist surrounds him, and the next second, Logan attacks Maverick and drives his claws through him, killing him instantly. The worst part is that now the guys don't just have to worry about Logan, but about the hundreds of creatures closing in through the ceiling, and they're basically doomed. Yuriko faces off against her ex-boyfriend, but they don't have the strength to hold him back, and Sabretooth shows up with a flamethrower, trying to burn his brother, but Logan attacks him from behind. He throws him with so much force that he smashes the console, waking up Omega Red, who attacks Logan with his whips. The guys have no idea whether Omega Red is on their side. The only thing they know is that none of them can beat Logan in that state, not even his brother, who got stabbed a couple of times and needs Morph's help just to walk. So they decide to escape from there, while Omega Red buys them enough time, and the rest of the creatures swarm on top of him. Yuriko and Sabretooth want to get out of there as soon as possible, but Morph refuses to abandon Logan, and when they open the door, he shoots the control panel, ending up locking them all in that room. Morph shapeshifts into different things trying to stop them, but Yuriko explains things and makes him see his mistake. They found Logan in the adamantium chamber, not in the vehicle bay. So it's clear he was already infected before, or he lied to them about the purpose of his mission, and he doesn't deserve to be rescued. Morph admits that might be true. Maybe Logan tricked them and brought them to this place just to get his claws back. But now they've got a much bigger problem on their hands. If one of those aliens escapes, with Logan's healing factor to work with, they'll conquer the entire world in a week, and they'll be unstoppable. According to what they saw in the video, Cornelius tried to put the brood through the adamantium process, and all of them died. So if they give Logan what he wants, they'll end up freeing him from those things, and he'll be back on their side. The aliens won't survive the pain of the process, but they know Logan can, and his healing factor will protect him. That's why he was the first candidate, and the only successful one. The only thing they have to figure out is a way to lure Logan toward the machine. And for that, Morph has an idea, even though it involves a big risk. So he turns into Cyclops and steps out of the chamber to call him over. Morph is using the hatred Logan has for Cyclops to lure him toward the adamantium chamber, telling him over and over that he and Jean are very happy and that he's a loser. But all Logan wants is to tear him apart, and he starts attacking him over and over, trying to stab him with his bone claws. This is the risk Morph was talking about, and he has no choice but to try to dodge the attacks, since if for any reason he ends up getting even a small cut, he'll be infected with the virus. The bad news is that Logan can smell his brother, and Sabretooth has to come out early to try to subdue him, attacking him from behind, managing to lift him into the air and hurt him pretty badly. But, as expected, the healing factor erases his wounds, and infected Logan attacks again. On top of that, the creatures have managed to break through the control room door, and Yuriko has no choice but to fight them off long enough until the guys give her the signal that Logan is inside the machine. The next time we see Sabretooth, his body is completely torn apart, to the point where we can see his bones, and Logan isn't done with him. He keeps beating and slashing him, while everything around them starts to burn. Next up is Morph, who tries to dodge his attacks and talk sense into him, reminding him that when Sinister controlled him, he never left his side, so he's willing to do the same for him right now. The X-Men never leave their own behind, and he's not going to do that to him either. His words seem to reach the real Logan for a moment, but the next second, Logan stabs him straight in the shoulder, causing a pretty serious wound. At that moment, Morph gets the idea to turn into Jean, and that manages to make Logan step back and regret what he's done. This is the perfect chance for Yuriko to make her move, dropping down from above the control room, grabbing Logan from behind, and throwing him straight into the machine. She and Morph use all their strength to keep the door shut, while Sabretooth climbs up the wall and makes it to the controls, finally activating the machine and starting the adamantium process. With every hit, Logan lands on the glass. It cracks more and more, and time is running out. Soon their friend will break out and kill them, unless his brother manages to reach the top and press the button. Despite his serious wounds, his brother's healing factor has given him just enough strength to climb, activating the machine, which quickly fills with a blue liquid, and a pair of tentacles loaded with syringes full of liquid adamantium stab Logan in each of his limbs. Unfortunately, the process will take a while, time they don't have, since the lab door has come down, and about 100 of those giant cockroaches appear, with sharp teeth and eyes red as hell, ready to tear them all apart. Fortunately, Omega Red is still alive, and not only that, since he's basically a living zombie, he can't be infected by the virus, and it's pretty easy for him to destroy the monsters and cut them into little pieces. The bad news is that he doesn't see any allies in front of him, and he attacks the guys just as much as the monsters. And since Morph is hurt, the only one left to face him is Yuriko, but she gets caught by one of the whips, and Omega Red electrifies his weapon, sending a huge shock through Yuriko's body and knocking her completely out of the fight. When Morph tries to back her up, he gets hit with the same punishment, and now Omega Red is standing in the middle of the room like the winner of it all, but with 100 giant alien mosquitoes about to attack him. With the team defeated, Omega Red reveals his plans. The first thing he'll do is kill Logan, and then he'll release those creatures across the whole world to build his own empire of self-destruction and become the king of those things, since he himself can't be controlled. What an ambitious villain. Luckily, Logan isn't dead yet, and a few seconds later, we see his claws, now coated in adamantium, shoot out of his fist, which means the process finished successfully and the virus has left his body. With just a couple of slashes, he destroys the reinforced glass and steps out of the chamber, ready to face not only 100 modified cockroaches, but also the mosquitoes and Omega Red, who's planning to kill him. One cut at a time, Logan takes care of the cockroaches, then turns all his attention to the rest. At that moment, fire starts spreading through the place, scaring off the mosquitoes for the time being, but leaving Logan to face Omega Red. Finally, a breather for the team. Unfortunately, the fight has to get cut short, since the whole place is about to blow, and Morph tells Logan they need to get out of there right away, or they'll all die. So he hits Omega Red and manages to push him to the exact spot where a huge pillar falls on top of him, burying him, before heading back to the vehicle bay with the team. There, he manages to cut through the security panel with his new claws, and he holds off the mosquitoes that were chasing them. That gives them just enough seconds to steal a ship and escape before the mosquitoes devour them. Behind them, some huge fuel tanks explode, and the fire fills everything in its path, burning up the mosquitoes that were chasing them, but only doing minimal damage to the ship, which takes off successfully. From up above, the team can watch the whole base blow up into 1,000 pieces, destroying all evidence of what happened, along with Cornelius's videos and the bodies of their friends. On the plane, Morph tries to get the truth out of Logan, wanting him to admit he lied to them, and that's when Logan tells them that some people can only be one thing, not like him, who can turn into whatever he wants, and in Logan's case, that thing is an animal with claws. Morph reminds him that 2 of his best friends died because of his lies, and that even though he has his claws back, he'll have to live with what it cost to get them. A few seconds later, the episode comes to an end, with Logan silently staring at his gleaming claws, until he turns his attention to the sunset, coming to terms with the deaths he caused, and the fact that he'll have to live with it forever. A bittersweet ending, just as you'd expect.